Nick Allen is a street outreach coordinator for the city of Kansas City, Missouri. His job is to visit the encampments and talk to the people living here about outreach programs. Methodology from Built for Zero, which works to end homelessness in cities nationwide, estimates there are 4,000 people in Kansas City without permanent housing.
Now it's getting colder. Have you thought about trying to go back in the nursing home?
With so many in need, Nick's goal is building relationships, building trust, and that takes time.
And when I'm progressively engaged and I keep seeing that person, I am now a part of their life and kind of in this with them and form that bond as well.
Creating bonds to help people escape homelessness, because encampments like these are dangerous and sometimes deadly.
Check on this backside if there's more.
There's trafficking, there's substance use disorder, there's the things you have to do to get substances, there's keeping people in debt as a result of those that prevent them from getting housed, and you're talking about folks in survival mode.
The city's goal to get more of the unhoused community off the streets and into safe shelters. Kansas City, Missouri once had just 360 low-barrier emergency beds available. Now there are 930. Low-barrier shelters are a crucial part of the plan because they allow people to come in without being sober, having to attend church, or proof of employment.
We believe housing is amazing, but housing with health care is the way to actually address chronic homelessness.
I'm glad I found you.
And that's why what Nick does is so vital to the city's long-term plan. Address the mental and physical needs, and then work on housing needs.
Encampments in general, they're not pleasant. They're just not. And I've never seen anyone's life improve living in an encampment. So the goal has to be, how do we get you out of this and how do we get you somewhere safe?
If you drive around Kansas City the past several years, probably there's been an uptick in homelessness since the pandemic. Unfortunately, Kansas City, Missouri has the highest rate of unsheltered, chronically homeless individuals per capita in the United States. Like, bigger than LA, that number is bigger than New York, bigger than Chicago, bigger than Miami. Like, that is ridiculous. An estimated 95.7% to 96% of the homeless population in Kansas City, they're living outside. Now, we've had a mild winter in Kansas City this winter that we're currently in. But if you live here and you know how brutal these winters can get, hell, there were times this winter when it was brutal. Imagine being outside in that mess. Like, and you have nowhere to go. You have no place to go. This is the part where I need people to have just a little bit of empathy for our homeless population. You know, because in this life, you got to learn how to walk alone a lot of times. And some people just aren't built for that. Some people make the wrong decisions. But regardless, though, they are still human beings, and they should be treated with the utmost dignity and respect at all times. I always believe that. You know, in Kansas City, over 4,000 people are estimated experiencing homelessness in our city. This is a big problem. And some of the reasons why is I've seen a lack of shelter options. I remember a few years ago, I always try and give money to people on the street, man, whenever the opportunity presents itself. Because number one, this money is not ours. This money is here as a tool for us to help each other and for us to navigate through life. And so I feel like it's my duty and responsibility. If I have it, if I got it, I'ma always show some love when I can. But I remember talking to this guy, and he had no place to go as I was, trying to help him out with a couple dollars or whatever. And I was thinking like, man, I can't even really think of any off the top of my head besides like City Union Mission, in which my father used to drive some of the guys there to church with us when my father was driving a church van um in the later years of his life. And we would go to City Union Mission, pick some of those guys up, and we would have Bible study. And those are some of the best Bible study um memories that I have as I was growing up. I was like 16, 17, 18 at the time too. Um but that's the only one that popped into my head was City Union Mission. And he was like, well, I've already tried them and they're full. So I think that I say all that to say that there is a severe critical lack of shelter options in Kansas City. And these numbers are alarming, dog. I mean, just I am still stuck on that 4,000 number of 4,000 people being homeless in Kansas City. If all of those people are unsheltered, that means that the shelter capacity in Kansas City is broken and needs to be fixed ASAP. So seeing the homeless encampments all over the city, and it's not only in Kansas City, you see it all over the country if you go to other places. Um, it hurts my heart. It really does that some people don't have family or any help to and I don't know everybody's situation. It's a case by case thing. Maybe some people maybe they got third or fourth or fifth or sixth chances and they messed them all up. Maybe they did. Maybe maybe some people needed to learn a lesson on their own to be better later on. I don't believe in that for nobody for real. I don't believe nobody should be just stranded on the street and treated like that. But everybody has their own journey. Um it just hurts my heart, man, to see that we are in the United States of America, the land of greed and wealth with several millionaires and billionaires, and yet we got people living on the street, bro. I find it crazy, and some people just don't have an option. They just don't have an option sometimes. So I always try to help, man, when I'm in a position to. I really do. Whether I'm on the road and I got a couple dollars to spare it in, or if it's through some outreach with the radio station or a community, or talking about a story that could bring awareness to some homeless situations in Kansas City. I always try and give when I can. Because I just hated growing up feeling like, damn, we just a couple dollars away from being on the street. I always had that feeling growing up. When it's turned into me having survival mode, still to this day, that still kind of lingers on with me just a little bit. Um, but everybody, we all go through this life with different pathways into getting to where we're supposed to get to. And unfortunately, being homeless can be a part of the plan for some people, but it's nothing that you cannot bounce back from. But what is supposed to be done with this right now, with this homeless problem we have in Kansas City? Um, we're increasing the budget with KCPD, or at least they're asking for it for next year. Why not have an emergency shelter surge where we could convert vacant city buildings temporarily, where we can use public private partnerships with churches? I know there are several churches around Kansas City that helps out not only with trying to help out with housing, but definitely with food as well. Maybe we could have a centralized navigation center to where it's one place where you can get mental health help, where you can have substance abuse help and referrals. You can have ID replacement, job placement, case management, just all those critical needs that homeless people need. And I've talked about money with homelessness, but now like a couple other things contribute mightily to people being homeless, which is mental health and the mental health crisis we going through in this country, and also substance abuse for sure. That is a big one that can lead to money problems later on. And then sometimes life just kicks you in the ass too. It does. But the mental health thing too, there should be some sort of program to where if people are going through some severe mental trauma, some severe mental health crisis, to where they don't have to work, or it's kind of like an EBT card, how that works, where they fill your card up with money and you go spend it on food or whatever. Like that should be used for people, I think, with critical mental health crisis that they're going through, to pay their bills so they don't have to work, so they can just get the help that they need. Like I think these are programs. Like I think we need some new programs for these new problems that we have in society. Um, and a lot of these issues contribute to homelessness and mental health and substance, intakes, and not being able to find a job and not making enough money. And so many things, dog. But it's a shame that we're going into hosting the World Cup this year, and we have this homeless problem in Kansas City. But what the hell we gonna do when the World Cup is here and gone? Like, what's gonna be the aftermath of the World Cup being here, and there's supposed to be this influx of money, and we still have this homeless problem? A city cannot thrive while 4,000 people are disconnected from stability.